The Dictionary of Sydney is a website created to display historical information on Sydney, the history of Sydney, the culture of Sydney, anything related to Sydney, Australia. This can be used for anyone who is interested in Sydney, anyone who just has a question on Sydney. The information comes from a multitude of sources, from individual people, from professors, from universities, from students. If you click education, it explains what this can do for people in the education field. If you scroll through it, you'll see that there's a timeline for studying history of Australia and their impact on the world. And that's just one small feature of this website, that it gives you in-depth descriptions of why you're looking at it and what you're actually looking at. And I think that's key to this website. It's a history website and it has all these facts. And sometimes you look at a history website and you have no idea what you're looking at or why. And you can click throughout this website. Let's go back to the home page. So if you're interested in artifacts, you can click here. If you're interested in the organizations of Sydney, you can click here. But if you scroll through, you can type in a title, which would mean their name. And there's this long list of I'm assuming multiple pages, more than just 5. So if we go back to the home page, we are still landed on it. We didn't have to click back, we just had to simply exit the tab. If you scroll down a little further, you'll see this click here to make a donation, which you can tell by the URL means that it's an organization and a non-for-profit. So there is a big red banner across the top. It lets you know that when you make a donation that it is deductible for tax. So if we click it, it takes us to Support Us, which describes why and how many people are actually donating to these people. The people who created this website and who still run it are Australian Research Council that are supported by the University of Sydney. Now it's sponsored by the City of Sydney. And so being sponsored by the City of Sydney is very huge in that a lot of their sources come from the actual state that Sydney is in, which is New South Wales. So a lot of these historical facts and these historical elements are from a larger database other than just small personal ones. Let's return to the home page. If we scroll through the website, you see multiple things. You see a blog, you see projects, you see curriculum resources for you to download in order to use possibly in a classroom. They offer a newsletter, another blog here, and then a map of Sydney, and it describes what it is and what place it is in. And if we get to the bottom, we notice an acknowledgement of country right here, which basically states that the Dictionary of Sydney acknowledges the Indigenous people of Sydney, or Aboriginals. They have a rich history which may contain a lot of violence, so it just warns you down here that to be cautious of the sensitivity of some of the information if you're looking it up, and you may not know, but that warning is a great acknowledgement for some. Overall, I think this project, or not project, overall, I think overall, the Dictionary of Sydney provides a lot about Sydney and the history of it and just the variety of history. It's a great database for historians and for the general population of anyone wanting to know about Australia and specifically Sydney.